Welcome to a new episode, wonderful episode of Education Exchange from the studios of Public Access TV in Iowa City and from the media outlet of the community school district. And it's always a very exciting night to have Tate with us.
Thank you.
You know, I belong there, and I always belong there, and I'm biased. And I think your school is a wonderful school, and your role is an extremely, extremely positive role in this community. And that's why I don't want to take all the light now. I want to shed the light on you and your wonderful guests, Phil and Jesse. So tell us, what do you have in the menu tonight?
Okay, well, thanks for your support, because we want to tell you all about what we're doing. We have a lot of achievements. But first, I brought Jesse Smith. He's our language arts teacher. And Phil Hansen. Phil teaches math and is our educational assessment specialist. So we want to talk a little bit some new initiatives. We're in year 2 of PBIS, which is Positive Behavior Intervention Supports. And we have a couple new initiatives that Phil's working with. And then just some student activities and academic activities that I want to talk about. So
before we start this, last time you were here and you introduced Jesse, and we were a few days earlier in a production meeting, and I had seen Jesse doing everything in school.
Yes.
I didn't know if he's a math teacher or the only time when I subbed for him,
Right.
which I love to do sometime, is when I discovered that that's his curriculum. But are you still doing the same, Jesse, now?
More of a focus on language arts this year, but we're a really small staff, so I mean, I'm not the only one doing a lot. There's everybody else has their share. I mean, we all have to, you know, there's different committees and things and different requirements.
Let me ask you a very honest question.
Sure.
Do you have an office? Did Anne Browning?
Oh yeah, I have my own classroom.
Oh,
now.
good.
I was on the cart. That's right. That's because I did
'Cause I
English
remember.
and math, and now it's just
Yeah.
English, so I'm just
I
doing
remember
one.
that's
right.
That's his card. You push this. That's
Well,
Jesse's.
I kind of
office.
blocked that out.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure. So yeah, so I'm just doing English this year, English 9 and 10, and then almost like an intervention class for struggling readers. So.
And Phil, now you are the newcomer with the brains, huh?
Yes.
I didn't have your qualification, I have to admit. So tell me about the role of assessment.
Well, one thing we're excited for is we're doing 2 online assessments, DOMA and DORA. One's specified to math, the other one's specified to reading. What my role is I'm going ahead and taking in information so I could go ahead and relay it on to our language arts department, our math department, where we go ahead and use that information to see what our students really need.
So you do the analysis too?
Exactly.
I mean, you collect the data or data,
Yep.
and then you analyze it, and then you come up with a recommendation at the end?
Very much so. It gives us everything from specific problems they have missed. Maybe they really need to focus on spelling. I'll go ahead and relay that information on. Or, being a math teacher myself, I use the math data to really lead my curriculum and see where I need to go.
And this needed a lot of preparation for you in training, right?
Yes, definitely. We're still in the steps. It is just our first year, so we're still kind of learning how to use this data, and that's where our RTI initiative is going to.
And Anne told me that you're teaching as well at Southeast Junior High.
Correct. I'm
Right.
doing one section of geometry over at Southeast.
And this gives a little change of pace
Definitely.
during the day. So,
Definitely.
And now tell me about more of your achievements.
Well, last year we focused on really turning around a lot of our behaviors, and this year we really want to figure out where kids are academically and improve the academics. So because at Tate we have a lot of new students that start every trimester, like for instance, second trimester we've got 30 new students in. So Phil goes ahead and assesses each one of them, and then lets the teachers know where they're functioning at. And then, our staff is really trying to work together as a team, almost like a professional community, and look at our data and figure out how we can best move these students along. We also have them write a written assessment, kind of a story about themselves. How are you a Tate warrior? And tell us about yourself and how did you get to Tate High School? And then we try and set goals. And, we're finding out there are a lot of bright students in our school that function, very well, but for some circumstances, they just end up at Tate, the alternative high school. And so we try and get them back on track so they can go to Kirkwood Community College and then on to a 4-year university. So there's lots of things. Other kids are ready for the workforce, so we try and hook them up with some Kirkwood classes or some type of career assessment to see what they're interested in, whatever they need to, to figure out what their next path is beyond high school.
One thing that's really nice that we did this year with that testing and everything that Ann said is all the new students, everybody who came to us, the very first 3 days that they're at our school, they're undergoing, lessons in the different rules and behavior and stuff, but then also doing this testing. That way, we get through all the testing, and then we get straight to the classes. That way we're not taking up too much time or instruction time away from the kids. We just get all done within those 3 days, and then, that really helps. When second try we had about 30 new kids. We're able to just schedule it that way of getting them in there and testing, and then just getting into class. So that was nice.
Years ago, even when I was in the hospital doing my medical career, a lot of focus was on the dysfunctional family relationship, minority, marginal, diversity, discrimination, prejudice, and now the level of poverty is staggering. I mean, I was reading Time magazine yesterday, and it was really sad. Sad to find young people poor. And by poor, I mean they don't have even heat in their home, let alone food. Do you feel the impact of this in your school?
We do.
Yeah.
We have a free and reduced level of about 83%. So, but, they come to school and
83%?
Yeah.
Are you the highest in the district?
Yes. And, but we're able to get them lots of services, and with the support of the school district, we have the lunch program, we have the breakfast program. We hook students up with services that they need, any kind of...
And you did the culinary...
culinary arts?
Yeah. Service. You can cook their own meals, right?
Yep. This year we offer just 6 different home ec opportunities so they can learn to, cook on a budget and cook different things. So, we're trying our best to prepare them to live on their own. But, we have several students that pay their own rent, and our parents themselves, and are working. We have students that leave and go right to work and work full-time. They work the swing shifts, so they're working really hard to get through high school.
Another problem I would like to ask you about is time in Tate. We were really, really busy with issue of daycare, especially with young mothers. Have you ever found out a solution for this problem or a way to approach it or to tackle it?
Well, it's neat. We have a lot of community partnerships, especially with UAY. They lead the way with helping us with finding daycare and adult living programs for these young mothers. But they also come over and teach a parenting class next door. We use the space at the Children's Therapy Center next door.
Right.
And our students go over there once a week for a parenting class. We have the fathers are also taking the class. So, yeah. Then also our student and family advocate, he can find services, and he finds daycares that take these vouchers at the students so they can get to school. But we have to be really flexible too as well, and find ways to deliver the education for kids who have to stay home with their sick kids. So.
I think our neighbors upstairs started to play music, celebrating the fact that Tate is here, you know. We have Uptown Bill's coffee shop upstairs, and a couple of evenings every week they have performances.
It sets the mood
So
nicely.
it creates a kind of background. I hope it's not bothering you.
No.
Okay. So what else do you have for me tonight?
Let's see. Should we?
Well, one thing I was going to say, just Ann, with all, like Ann was saying, with all these different programs for, students at risk, one thing that we're really trying to do too with the data is response to intervention. So she was saying a lot of the programming, a lot of the scheduling, we have to individualize the students based on, they might have a kid at home and can't get there first thing in the morning, so they might start later in the day and then stay later in the day, maybe with the Phoenix program, things like that. Always adjusting, maybe they need to do an independent project more where the teacher is more of a guide. That way they can get the work done at home and bring it into us. And then obviously in class, just adjusting as much as possible to fit each kid's needs according to the data.
Is there any possibility they change this word or this expression of at risk? Because I don't know. I mean, I don't particularly hate it.
Right.
But in the meantime, I don't like it, because who is not at risk? I'm at risk now, and all of us at risk, The guy upstairs who's dancing now can fall on us, and we all are at risk. I just don't understand it. Why do we label kids who are having certain challenges in their lives, and they have to beat the odds in order to win their battle?
Right.
We call them at risk. I don't.
We'll
But
call them
it
Tate
does-
warriors.
it's
We
not-
call them warriors.
Yeah.
There you go.
They have their own unique battles to fight.
As a
every
matter
day.
of fact, I was about to give you credit for this, because for the first time since you came to us last year, and you said we call them warriors, we don't call them at risk. And that by itself, I think, is a step forward. Because again, you play on the stereotype involuntarily. Oh, I'm at risk. So.
But there is a very large impact of poverty just throughout,
Yeah.
every school, not just ours. But.
Right now, yeah.
So Director Kate Ritchie of the Phoenix program is doing a lot, and Jesse alluded to that. She stays from 3 to 6 every night and opens up our media center with online courses. But and it's not just for students who have dropped out. It used to be for just students 18 to 21 who work during the day or just find it difficult to and challenging to be at school from 8 to 2. Well, she also, now we do some book work, we do independent studies, the individualized curriculum for them, and online. Some students at the Phoenix program are taking the Kirkwood courses during the day and then stay into the evening. I mean, students are working really hard, and we're trying to be, it truly is an alternative. We're trying to figure out what works best for them to get them through. So, and then our guidance counselor, Christina Brown, keeps them up to date on just what they need to get their 309 credits. So
She's excellent.
she's really good.
Very good.
Very organized.
And now I would like you to differentiate to our audience between alternative education and alternative to education. Because a lot of people have this idea that, well, maybe they don't teach this serious enough or whatever.
Right.
it's an easy place to go get credit or
Right.
catch up with. So how do you convince, I want you to look at this camera
Okay,
and tell the people that you are offering a serious program.
okay.
And I'm a witness of that.
All righty. Okay, so that's why we have our educational specialist, Phil Hansen. So as soon as the students are enrolled at Tate, we immediately give them assessment tests to find out where they're at. We don't want to dummy down the curriculum. We want to find out exactly where they're at and what they need. And then we set out to have an educational program. And that might mean that, you know, a lot of our students don't have homework at night because they need to leave at 2:20 and go to a job, or they need to babysit younger siblings. But the other students who really do want to go on to college, Kirkwood or the university, we assign them homework, and we're going to expect them to do a little bit more. So that's why Phil's assessments really help. It gives us the data that we need to make it different for them. So alternative school, we're really not dumbing it down. We're trying to figure out how we can work best with the challenges in their lives and to get them to graduate on time. A lot of our students come with credit deficits, so we need to get creative, find out their interests, and get them interested in learning again and back on track. So.
Now, Phil and Jesse, what do you think about the idea of magnet school? There is a conversation now within this community, and it has always been there, but the negatives were superseded the positive for many years. And people start saying, oh yeah, magnet school, you isolate people, you label them, you exclude them, you seclude them, whatever. But what do you think, as an educator, do you think that we have a future in Iowa City here to have a magnet school specialized in certain curricula? For instance, math or technology or even auto repair?
Yes, one thing I definitely think was it would just offer another alternative education. We do our best to go ahead and alternativize our education. Why not give them another opportunity? I personally know students at our school right now who would love to go right into auto repair. They could go there, get their schooling, get right into the job force. In addition, I think it would be a great idea to work with the STEM programs to go ahead and do a math, science, and technology magnet school as well.
I think anytime you bring up choice, I mean, I think that's, you know, the buzzword that parents like to hear. They want to see choice of schools in their district, and a magnet school can focus on a specific aspect that, you know, would probably be pretty tempting to a lot of parents. You know, I think the whole funding and implementation and all that. You know,
even charter schools?
Yeah, I mean, there's a place for them, I believe. I know that can be a negative word in education sometimes, but you know, I think the big thing is just whatever the community wants. If they want that choice,
Sure.
you know, that's up to them. And then we're
Sure.
here to do our best to provide
let,
that. So.
let a million bud bloom, as they say.
Yes.
That's correct. You see, Mr. Kenneth Moore, our floor director, is showing me now that we have about 4 minutes to make sure that I'm not going to stay 40 more, because he knows I probably would. So, because of that, we need to wrap up.
Okay.
So I'll give each one of you 1 minute to talk to the audience about something that we didn't
Okay.
touch upon, we didn't talk about.
Well, maybe I can let them talk about clubs and some of the fun activities we're doing at school, but I wanted to take this opportunity and thank a lot of the community for their support of Tate High School. Title Boxing opened up their gymnasium 2 times a week for our students to go down and do aerobic classes, and that's been exciting, and we've seen a lot of positive benefit from that involvement, so Title Boxing has really taken on a lot. The University of Iowa Writers Workshop students come out every week, and they work with our students on their poetry and writing, and it's just amazing. They were even featured on Iowa Public Television November 27th, and so that was really exciting for our students. And we're also working with the Kennedy Center, and they're working on writing a play, and hopefully if they get it done in time, that we will be performing that play as well. Gosh, we've had a lot of other partnerships. The University of Iowa Psychology Department's going to come and do a daily, every Friday do a workshop, offer a workshop for our students on, how to overcome traumatic events in their lives and how to move forward, how to acknowledge that and move forward. So we're super excited about that. Lots of partnerships going on.
Right now, we're just starting our Tate High basketball team where any student can come out, and then they do an intramural league over at the rec center. City High does, and usually there's a Tate team and 6 City High teams, and then a team for Regina. So it's all the kids that really didn't want to go out for varsity basketball, but still love basketball and want to go out and play. So we have our kids, our team ready to go.
You are next door to the recreation center, right?
I mean, it's a few blocks away.
Yeah.
One downtown.
But Mercer, we play at the one downtown, but we'll practice over at Mercer a couple days a week. The clubs are going great during the week. Every Thursday, we meet for a half hour with students and advisory groups, or different groups they get to choose, and there's a lot of different events going on, so we got a lot to be happy about.
And Phil, you have the final word.
I'd like to just shed some light on some other events we had, all the way from our Thanksgiving feast that we had to our holiday store, where each student was able to come by about 6 or 7 times, stop by and pick up a gift. It would get wrapped for them, take home for a holiday celebration. Sometimes the students, they may not have the money. They got to pay for a child. They got to go pay for their own bills. It was a great way to go ahead and kind of bring everybody up to the holiday spirit, shed some light on it, and it was a good celebration.
That's fun.
You guys make me so proud, and I'm so delighted to have and to see alternative education flourishing and blooming in a very positive way in our community. And I see our kids are doing great work, very successful, amazing. One of them is now going to be on Saturday Night Live. Can you believe the Jack
awesome.
Bevera? Jack Bevera, for our audience here, they know all Jack. He's going to be a star on Saturday Night Live.
Awesome.
So we are so proud of our kids in many, many aspects of their lives. And it's my pleasure and my privilege to welcome you again and again. Every time you feel come and visit, please do. Mm-hmm. Now we have our director, Sarah Tate, and her name is Tate, right. So she belongs to your school, right?
That's right.
Probably her grandfather related somewhere. And we, of course, I would like at the conclusion of this program to thank Mr. John Karhoff, the big guy here, the father of this program for the last 200 years. And of course, thank you, Kenneth, for all the work you did today. And ladies and gentlemen, have a wonderful night this new year, the year 2014, and a wonderful night in the winter.
Great.
But good night.
Yeah. Thank you. Anna.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.